When the message first reached the Galactic Council, it was almost dismissed as a routine border skirmish. A civilian rescue convoy, identified as part of the Terran humanitarian fleet, had been destroyed near the Andros Belt, a region that had seen countless territorial disputes between minor powers. The report came through fragmented signals, but one line was clear enough to silence the council chamber. Unprovoked attack on human rescue vessels, no survivors confirmed. For centuries, the council had learned to dismiss human complaints as noise from a young and unpredictable species. Earth had entered the interstellar scene later than most and quickly earned a reputation for overreaction and aggression. But beneath that image was something far more complex. Humanity had survived on a harsh cradle and carried that instinct into the stars. They didn't conquer for glory, they acted for survival and for principle. This time, however, no one expected them to respond so fast. Within a single rotation of the galactic core, the first Terran fleet arrived on the edge of Andros space. 20 ships, medium tonnage by council standards, but heavily armed and unnervingly efficient in formation. Their lead vessel bore the symbol of the Terran Peace and Relief Organization, the same group that had sent the destroyed convoy. They came not for negotiation but for clarity. The fleet commander's voice transmitted across the neutral channels in measured tones. "We are here to retrieve the remains of our fallen and the data of the attack. Do not interfere." Several nearby systems panicked. The faction suspected of launching the attack, a regional coalition known as the Draven Union, tried to deny involvement, yet sensor records told another story. The Draven fleet had fired first, assuming the convoy was a covert human spy group. The council had not authorized the attack, but by the time they tried to intervene, it was too late. The Terran ships entered the debris field silently. Wreckage drifted among the fractured ice of the belt, twisted remains of vessels that had carried medics, doctors, and food supplies. Human rescue missions were known for traveling unarmed, trusting in neutrality markings to protect them. This one had done the same. When the first data core was recovered, it contained visual proof. The Draven flagship opening fire, its energy bolts piercing through the lead hospital ship. There were no warnings, no demands, only sudden destruction. The Terran commander's voice grew cold. "Transmit this to every open channel. Let them see what happens when mercy is met with violence." The broadcast spread across the networks within hours. Billions across the galaxy watched in silence as the feed showed the slaughter of medics and children aboard the convoy. No propaganda could twist it. The truth was too raw. That night, Earth's decision came without debate. The Terran Assembly convened in an emergency session that lasted only 8 minutes. Their answer was unanimous. When the Draven Union realized what they had triggered, they scrambled to mobilize. Their fleets gathered, confident that their numbers would deter retaliation. For generations, they had relied on the assumption that the Council would restrain the humans. That assumption vanished when Earth's declaration was transmitted. This is not vengeance. This is justice for those who could not defend themselves. Every hostile vessel will be disarmed. Every aggressor world will answer for the attack. Stand down or face consequences beyond your comprehension. The words were followed by silence and then by movement. The Terran fleet expanded overnight, drawing reinforcements from dozens of human colonies. Their ships were fast, angular, and wrapped in layers of adaptive armor that shimmered with faint energy fields. They did not bear national colors, but a single symbol, the blue crescent of the Earth itself. Each hull carried the names of lost humanitarian ships etched as a promise. When they entered Draven space, they did not ask permission. The human fleet moved like a storm, precise, silent, and unstoppable. Their first strike dismantled the Draven border defenses in minutes, using weapons no council scientist had ever seen. Kinetic projectiles accelerated to near-light speed, cut through shielded fortresses as if they were paper. The Terrans did not linger. They targeted only military assets, leaving civilian settlements untouched. Observers from other species recorded everything. One witness described it simply: "It was not war. It was a lesson." The Council tried to intervene diplomatically, sending envoys to demand restraint, but the Terrans ignored them. They transmitted only one message to the Council's communication array: "Your silence cost innocent lives. We will finish what you could not prevent." For the Draven Union, the following week became known as the Silence of Stars. Every command post, every shipyard, every weapons facility vanished beneath the Terran advance. The human fleet did not occupy territory. They erased the capacity for further violence. Then, as suddenly as they had appeared, they stopped. The final human transmission was brief. The price is paid. When the Terran ships withdrew, they left behind a stunned galaxy. The Draven Union sued for peace, offering reparations and public apologies. The Council convened to assess the damage, but the numbers could not capture what had changed. No empire, no alliance, no species would ever again mistake human restraint for weakness. On Earth, the reaction was quiet. There were no parades or speeches, only memorials for the fallen. Humanity did not celebrate destruction. They mourned that it had been necessary. Still, across the colonies, people whispered the same phrase. They fired on a rescue convoy, and Earth responded without hesitation. In the cycles that followed, every major galactic power adjusted its diplomacy. Border patrols gave Terran convoys wide passage. Council resolutions started including clauses for humanitarian protection. Even the Draven survivors began to rebuild under human aid programs, a gesture that confused many but defined humanity's dual nature, capable of devastating wrath, yet equally capable of boundless mercy. Centuries later, historians would debate the event. Some argued it was the moment Earth became a superpower. Others believed it was when the galaxy truly understood humanity for the first time. They were not conquerors or saviors. They were protectors who acted when others hesitated. One archivist from the Andros sector wrote in his journal, "When humans promise to help, they come with open hands. When you harm their own, they come with fire. Between those hands and that fire lies the balance of the galaxy." Even the Council, humbled by their failure, restructured itself to include permanent Terran oversight in security matters. Every member remembered the quiet destruction of the Draven fleets and the measured calm of the Terran commanders. It wasn't power that terrified them, it was discipline. Humanity had shown that they would unleash unmatched force only when compelled, and once their goal was achieved, they would not seek more. In the years that followed, Terran rescue ships returned to the stars. Their hulls gleamed white once more, bearing the insignia of peace. Wherever disaster struck, collapsing colonies, radiation storms, pirate raids, Terran vessels arrived first. The same beings who had erased fleets now brought medicine, water, and hope. People began to say that when the stars burned red, humanity came with steel, but when they dimmed, humanity came with light. At the dedication of the rebuilt Andros Medical Station, a single Terran captain spoke before the assembled delegations. His words echoed through the hall and across every network. "We are not gods or monsters. We are what the void made us, survivors who learned that compassion must be defended. If you strike at those who bring life, then you choose to face what protects it." The hall remained silent for a long time after. Generations later, that message was carved into the council chamber itself. Every envoy who entered read the line etched in silver beneath the great banner of stars. They fired on a rescue convoy, and Earth responded without hesitation. The phrase became more than history. It became a reminder, a warning, and a promise that even in the vast darkness of space there existed a species that would never let kindness die unguarded. And wherever their ships traveled, peace endured, because all knew that if it was ever broken, humanity would rise again, not with hesitation, but with purpose unshakable and hearts that refused to forget.